What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the �HobbyistMiner channel. Well, today we're taking a look at my first Equihash miner. This is the Bitmain Antminer Z15 Pro. The team over at mineshop.eu sent this over for a few weeks so I could test it out before I decided to go ahead and buy it. So if you guys are interested, go over to mineshop.eu. I'll put a link directly down below if you want to learn more about this unit by the end of this video. So check this out. So this is an Equihash ASIC miner, and two coins come to mind with this guy. You can go ahead and mine ZCash, or you can go ahead and mine Horizen. And we're going to take a look at both of those because I'll be honest with you, I got my eye on Horizen. I'd love to stack a bag full of that right now. It's had some great numbers for an all-time high, and I think there's definitely some potential in the upcoming bull run. So this unit's actually quite unique. You know, I expect it to be very similar to what we see with some of the S19J Pro 100 terahash units and such, but look at this. It's like this weird hybrid between an E9 Pro and then also like the typical Bitmain miners. This is like a right in between. I've actually never had one very similar to this. My E9 Pros like come out to like here, the way the front of these are, which is pretty crazy. So you're pretty typical on the front here. This one is the 820 hash rate unit, has an SD card, IP report, Ethernet, reset, fault, and normal. All your typical type of stuff. Now we have our power supply fans here along the edge, two C13 to C14 cables, and we'll get these plugged into my PDU here in the future. And then your typical high RPM fans in the front. You can tell it's a different style of fan because of these cables are totally different than what you would normally see with Bitmain. So swinging this around, by the way, I love this little dolly. Makes life so much easier instead of throwing this thing around here. If you're interested, this is an APW 121215 for the power supply here. This will not work on normal 120, definitely 240. On the back side here, no fans. You guys notice that? No fans on the back side. Looks nice and clean, typical power supply here, but look at this. Nothing on the back side, and you can just see the boatload. You see these? These are just boatload of capacitors. Holy cow. You can kind of see in there a little bit. It's a little hard to see with my camera, but I can see in the far back the actual heat sinks. But all of these circular units look like capacitors to me. Now, I'm no techie guy when it comes down to boards and all the other fun stuff. Some of you guys, man, you're electrical engineers and stuff. You guys know this stuff really well. You'll have to tell me, but I'm almost certain these are all capacitors that we see in here. So this thing must not run that hot if it doesn't have the rear high RPM fans on it. But that's really it. Nothing else really to this unit, which is awesome. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead, let's go ahead and get this plugged in, and then we'll jump over to the computer and let's learn a little bit more about this unit. All right, while we wait for our Z15 Pro to fully boot up, I want to give a huge shout out to the team over at MineShop. Go over and check them out if you guys are interested. I'll put a link directly down below. If you're in the market for an ASIC, they're a great place to get started. So link directly down below. So let's go ahead and jump over to Mine the ASIC here. We're going to scroll down, and the first things I want to look at before we get into the numbers is, what is this mine? Well, it mines the algorithm Equihash, which has been around forever per se. It does 840 kilosouls, and the power is about 2650. So this may work for some of you guys out there who don't have an immense amount of power, especially if you're running off of a homeowner setup. 2,650 watts, which might work out great for you guys to be able to put this on a 30 amp 240 volt with some other GPU mining rigs. Now, what it mines, the mineable coins on it are ZEC, which is Zcash, as well as Zen, which is Horizen. So if you're like, wait, what? Zcash hasn't gotten a lot of attention recently in quite some time, but it's been around for a long time. If we take a look over here on CoinGecko, you know, right now it's just kind of stagnant, right, over a 24-hour period. But let's zoom out here and take a look at a year time period. And you can see it's actually down quite a bit. So my mind goes to like, okay, how much can we fill our bag of this? Now, when you look at max, it's like, holy cow, it's been for quite a long time. Well, this chart doesn't even go back to it, but in 2016, ZCash, look at this, $3,100. Holy cow. Right now it's going for $30.28. So where my mind goes is more the speculative play, which has really done well for us during the bear market. And now as we slowly start to pull ourselves out of that bear market is like, can I get a decent amount of yield and a bag of ZCash? And then I don't expect it to hit that all-time high. That all-time high is insane at the number of $3,100. But if it goes to a fraction of that, I think I'll be looking pretty good. Now jumping over to Horizen, I'm not familiar with either of these projects, to be honest with you. I really spend my time at looking at how much I can yield and then how much I can profit from it. I'm not as much of one to back a project specifically for the things they are doing. Some of you guys, that's awesome, but I try not to get emotionally attached on that. So Horizen here, going for $10.10. Looking at 1 year right now, we could take a look and see, okay, it's been all over the place, had some pumps here and there. But what's the all-time high? Well, the all-time high is just 2 years ago in the last bull run in 2021, and it was $165. So nothing 3,100, which would be insane, but a little bit more reasonable at $165, which is right here during this April-May time period of 2021. But where we are now, we are down and pretty significantly down. So for me, I'm going to look at Horizen for this. ZCash has been around since 2016. I'm thinking this may have some more opportunity to it. So jumping back over here to our unit here, we can go ahead and my electric rate where I'm going to run this is at 4 cents. Actually, it's closer to 5. It's like 4 something, so 5 cents per se. We'll look at this and then we'll also look at like a 15-cent number because I think that's more realistic. Now, the interesting thing is we're about $30.30 on ZCash and $10.10 on Horizen. So if we jump back over here, mineable coin that's based off of freer profitability, our income is $9.19 a day. Our electricity is $3.18 with a profit of $6.01. So let's be a little bit more realistic here because 4 to 5 cents is not normal. So let's bump this up to like 10 cents and we're about $2.83 a day. And even 10 cents might be a stretch for most. I mean, let's be honest here. The electric rates, especially in the US, have not been very good. And you can see here at 15 cents, which I know some of you guys are like 20 and 30. Whew, I can only imagine. But at 15 cents, it's negative 35. So this unit is really only going to make sense for people, you know, taking this down to like, you know, 10 to 11 to 12 cents. For me, I'm going to luck out here at about 5 cents at $6.01 per day. But I'm not looking to sell every day or every week. I'm waiting for this to have a pump whenever that may be, either now during this weird hybrid bear market, bull market, especially for altcoins, or during the middle of the next bull run. So for me, I'm not as concerned about profit per day, and I'm more concerned about how much I can yield on this unit. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up with a wallet, and you can go over and check it out at horizen.io. If you come up here to explore, there's a download a wallet option. And the nice thing is we're not just talking a core wallet. Take a look at this. And I was really surprised when I started to look into this. So when you start to scroll down here, they have their own desktop wallet. Okay, cool. Windows, Mac, and Linux. All right, I like it already. But then they integrate with a bunch of third parties. And as I start to scroll down these, one that stands out to me is Ledger, because I do have Ledger. I have a variety of different hardware wallets. One of them is a Ledger. So that's actually really, really cool. I'm really happy to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Sphere by Horizen, their actually own native app, their official wallet, and I'm going to get this set up on a virtual machine. All right, so because I'm only going to have this for a few weeks, I'm like, do I pool mine? Well, I think I might solo mine with this. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm thinking that might give me the most opportunity. So I'm over on 2 miners, and coming down, they actually do support, if I go to the bottom, they do support ZCash or they do support Horizen. And with Horizen, I'm actually thinking I'm going to do Solo. So if I click on Solo and we scroll down to Horizen Solo, we can see here that our block reward will be 3.75 Zen. So if we go back over to Zen here, or Horizen 3.75, that's going to reward us $37.83 today. So let me get this set up and let's see how we do. So now what we're going to do is go over to settings here, and we're going to fill in our mining address and our miner information. So let's jump over first over to where we started with 2 miners. We are on Solo Mining. So on the bottom right hand corner, we're going to click Pool Dashboard, and we're going to pick US here. Now we have 2 options to go with. We can go with Equihash 128 or go to 1024 for NiceHash. So we're going to go with 128 here, and we're going to copy that information there, and we're going to jump back over and paste that into our mining address. Now for our miner name. This is going to want to be your wallet, and then we're going to name it like Z15. So let me grab my new wallet. So I pasted in my new wallet address here. At the very end of it, we're going to do a dot and do Z15 Pro. And then I'm going to do an underscore and do my IP address, just it helps it easier trackability if I need to access it quick, which is done. And then for password, we're going to hit X. So let's go ahead and hit save and give this thing 10 minutes or so to see how it does. All right, we're up and mining, and even though it says our uptime is only about 3 minutes, after I applied the pool and the wallet, it took a good 5 minutes or so before we even got anything going on in here and before it actually spun up. So not sure if that's normal for these Equihash ASIC miners, but here we are, we're in the software, and the real-time hash rate has really bounced around. I've seen it as high as 1200. So my guess is we really need to give this significantly longer in order for everything to stabilize out. Now, one thing I noticed was that the noise level stayed almost the same, upwards of about 78 decibels on this unit. You could probably hear it in the background over my mic. Now for watts were actually upwards of about 2,800 watts. So about 150 watts higher than what Bitmain specs out or what they say is on the spec sheet. But let's be honest, that's never accurate, it seems like, at the wall. It's always plus or minus a few percent in there. So jumping over to 2 miners, let's go ahead and refresh here. We are on their Horizen Solo pool. And as I said, it's going to definitely take some time to get this up and running. Now, something to keep in mind is on here, we're not going to see payouts occurring unless we hit a block. Right now, our personal luck right now is 0. We just got started. We're barely even showing up on this graph down below. What I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave this in the video description if you guys want to check this and follow along. I'm going to move this out to my shed because it's definitely a little too loud to have running in my side room here, but I'm going to leave this out in the shed. It's significantly cooler. My guess is these fans go ahead and lower down with the RPMs, and we let this thing run for the time that Mineshop allows us to test it. I'm hoping we hit a few blocks in the meantime. I'll give you guys an update too on my channel on shorts. If you guys don't check out the shorts on my channel, I release 3 to 4 different shorts a week, and I'll give you guys a quick update on this unit then. Finally, before we go, I once again want to give a huge shout out to Mineshop. Guys, if you're in the market for any crypto mining equipment, go over and give them a try. Make sure you tell 𝐂𝐻𝐿 I said hello. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap things up for today. We'll see how this goes. I may end up never sending this back depending on how many solo blocks we hit. We'll have to see. Well, if you guys enjoyed today's video, go ahead and click that bell to be notified when I drop my next ASIC mining video. Take care.
You know quantum computers. You know blockchain. But do you know both together? Dynex was the first platform to create a neuromorphic supercomputing blockchain-based algorithm which solves real-world problems. And the best part? Anyone can post a job, whether a company from the Global 2000, a machine learning job, or fintech and pharmaceutical. And if you don't want to program it yourself, get an expert directly at the marketplace. Run the job and be impressed by the fast result.